Hello, welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. Today I'm going to talk about the joke of the economic stimulus package, which is being proposed by the President and Congress. While I'm sure there are many people in this country who would be greatly benefited by receiving some small pittance the government throws their way, it is not something that addresses the problem. Unfortunately, the Federal Reserve will continue to keep interest rates low over the short term, at least for this year, in order to prevent a so-called recession from occurring, even though we're already in one. So, what does that tell you about the leadership behind this current administration and the leadership of the Federal Reserve? Not very good. They can't even recognize the signs for what they are right now. But I gotta say this, at least we only have 1 year left as of today of this administration, barring some catastrophe, terrorist attack like 9/11, or some excuse for martial law, which I do not discount as a possibility. 1 year left. That's it. Someone's going to have to come in. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to be Ron Paul, even though he came in second in the Nevada caucuses, which I say congratulations, Dr. Paul. Now, with a second place win, that should give him some more coverage and hopefully relegate his bottom of the barrel status by the news media out the door. But I don't imagine that's going to happen either, because what he says is the truth, and the policies that he would like to enact if he were president are exactly what's needed in this country. I would go a step further than him by dismantling the IRS, which I say hooray, we could all do with that. But I would also say that we need to do away with the Federal Reserve. This is part of the problem in this country. Having our monetary policy controlled by a private entity. The Federal Reserve is controlled by member banks, which are controlled by people who are extremely wealthy. So, in effect, the entire economy of our country is run by a clique of elite, wealthy people. Bankers, private bankers. It has nothing to do with the federal government. So, every time an economic decision is made by Ben Bernanke or whoever is in charge at the Federal Reserve, it is done at the behest of the rich and powerful, not the so-called government that should be looking out for the people. So, I say dismantle the IRS and dismantle the Federal Reserve. You know, Kennedy, before he unfortunately was assassinated, one of the last things he wanted to enact was going back to the so-called greenback, where we would have a fiat currency backed by the faith of the United States government. Now, we could do the same thing now. Do away with the Federal Reserve, go back to a fiat currency. There are some other options that could be explored, like going back to a gold standard, silver standard, some other commodity, whatever. Whatever it is, it's better than having international bankers control our economy. They are supposed to have our best interests at heart? I don't think so. The only thing they care about is keeping the wealth they have and preventing us lowly peons from getting any part of it. So, I'm hoping for Ron Paul, but seeing how reality is, I have to accept the fact that he's probably not going to be elected president, sad as that may be. But I can hope for one thing, that at least his visibility in this campaign will cause either the Republicans or the Democrats or the Republicrats or Demicans, because they're all the same, to look at his policies and to realize that he is addressing real issues with real solutions, not the fake, phony garbage that we're given every day, like this economic stimulus package, which is supposed to save us from a recession, which we're already in. Thank you.